Well, first, my papa, which is my grandpa, we're from the South, we're from Kentucky. He was a Pentecostal preacher. My papa and mama were very strict, religious. You know, my grandma, she didn't cuss. She wore skirts that was the long hair, shouting in tongues and falling and just all running around, and boom, they'd fall, and us kids would just be like, oh, woo. Anyway, that's how I grew up a little bit. But my mom was the oldest of the preacher's kids, and she was very rebellious. She had a huge rebellious streak. She didn't want anything to do with that. I suppose something happened to her, and she got into witchcraft. When I was very young, I'd say, I'm trying to remember here, I was like, I believe it was kindergarten or so. I found a porn magazine. Me and my brother and sister found a porn magazine under my dad's mattress, and we decided to look at it. And so my dad was a porn addict, obviously, and my mom got into witchcraft. And about this time, they sent us kids back to Indiana, where I was born, to live with my grandma and grandpa. And there we stayed in church for a while. And my mom was divorced. She got remarried to a Methodist man who was old enough to be her grandfather. Ew. And long story short, age of 14, here I am in Indiana. I'm fed up. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I mean, I played with tarot cards and Ouija boards and stuff growing up. I thought it was no big deal. That's what we just played with. Yep. My grandma obviously prayed for us kids. And I remember going to church and looking at my grandma, and she'd be down in the pew, like on her knees, just bawling her eyes out, crying. Oh, I was just like, what is she crying about this whole time? She was praying for us kids. Now I know this. My grandma was praying for my salvation, and I didn't know it at the time. Yeah. Thank God for my praying grandma. Thank God. Because that's why I'm here. I know it. I want to be like her. I want to be like my grandma. I ran away from home when I was 14 years old because the boy next door took my virginity, broke my heart, crushed me, killed me. I thought we were supposed to get married or something, Thought it was like the romance novels that I read. But he broke up with me, so I left home. I didn't want to be around him. He lived next door. I was like, that's it. I'm going to go see the world. I'm grown, and I want to travel and do what I want. And left home. I ran away a lot. I was in and out of children's homes, foster homes, institutions, you name it. I hung out with bad kids. Boys were always getting me into trouble. From the time I was 14 to 18, I was in institutions. I was a ward of the state of Indiana, which means the state of Indiana, they were my parents now. My mom didn't take care of me anymore. The state of Indiana was your parents? Yes, they took care of me, and I had to go by their rules and everything. And I found a boy who was really a bad boy, lots of bad boys. He was in Florida, so I decided at 15 to hitchhike by myself down to Florida to find him because I loved him. In a semi-truck, and I had a trucker who was old enough to be my dad rape me and pose as my father when we'd go out in public, and he did rape me. And at the time, it was just, but now I was sex trafficked. Oh, I was underage. I was taken over state lines. He had sex with me. He kidnapped me, and eventually I made it to Florida. As soon as I turned 18, by then my mom had moved to Colorado, and I said, I'm going to go live with my mom, and didn't get along with her again. And so turned 18, I said, I'm out of here. Went to live with my sister and my brother in downtown Denver, Colorado. Started going to raves and taking ecstasy and acid and mushrooms. Marijuana was my drug of choice for a long time. I would see my sister come home from stripping, and her and her friend would have like sexy clothes on, and they'd open up this duffel bag with like all these $1 bills. I'm like, oh wow, I needed to like take care of myself because I'm 18 now. I don't have a job, and I had no skills or anything. I didn't even finish school, so I thought no. I quit and just ran off. I'd never finished high school. I just left. I didn't care. So I got lured into the porn industry. The money and the glamour. I said, I can do that. That looks easy. And I was already very promiscuous, so it just seemed natural to me. I just thought, something told me, this is what you're meant for. This is your life. You're put here to please men and make money at it. And you're going to do this until you're dead. And I didn't think I was going to make it past 30 years old. I lived my life like there was no future whatsoever. And I did drugs. I smoked pot. I drank. Yes, pornographers offer you drugs. I bought drugs from people on the set, and if you needed anything, they had it for you. Yeah. Well, I'd say one of the worst moments was I was lured and coerced into a scene with a pornographer that a lot of people know as Max Hardcore. His real name is Paul Little.
He's little.
And he's very little. He's actually been in prison before, but recently. He was in prison for being obscene and things, so he's very disgusting, and he does some very disgusting things to women. Wow. He's like one of the worst. But what he did to me was probably the most humiliating thing I've ever been through in my life. And I was in Vegas. I was like, oh, I'm a porn star. I get to do all these really cool scenes and sign autographs. I'm famous. Everybody likes me. And I was asked if I want to do a scene. I said, sure. So I went ahead and went to his hotel room, and my agent took me. And my agent was standing there. I told them I do not do anal sex. That's one thing I do not do. I will not. I told you guys, I don't do it. They said, well, that's what we do. That's what my films are made of, he said. And if you don't do it, you're not going to get paid. And if you don't get paid, your agent doesn't get paid. And my agent was like, you're going to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I had to do, against my will, an anal sex scene. I was completely humiliated. It was during the porn convention. I really didn't get paid, I didn't get paid that much, thinking I was going to get paid more. What really, really bothered me, though, was after the scene, what Max used to do was, afterwards, he'd make you wear this big button, a giant button, so everybody can see it said, I'm a Max girl, thinking, oh, I'm a Max girl. And I go out into the convention, I walk out of the room and walk out, and I'm like, everybody knows what he just did to me. Yeah. They know by this button. He showed me that he showed everyone that he destroyed me just by wearing the huge button. Now look at this button that I have, that I go to porn conventions with right here. This is a completely different button. So
That's funny.
Yeah, so I wear this button now to let everybody know. Yeah. So yeah, that was extremely humiliating.
I
And
don't know how long you were in the sex industry total, and how you got out.
I was in the sex industry. I did anything and everything you could think of, money for sex, prostitution, stripping, dominatrix, the whole thing. I did it all. I didn't, it was all the same. It's all the same. I started when I was 18, and I didn't get out until I found Shelly about 6 years ago or so. I didn't really get out. Sometimes I'd try to get out, and I would go back in, and I never fully got out until I found Shelly. My life was going, it was at the bottom. I was at the bottom. I was living in a trailer park. I was divorced. I didn't have my child. My boyfriend at the time, who was a meth addict, who sold meth, who was an alcoholic, who was demon-possessed, he left me. I was going to be homeless. I had nowhere to go, and I didn't know what to do. And I would lay, for 2 weeks, I remember laying in bed every night and just crying out to God. I didn't know what else to do. I was like, God, just save me. Send me an angel, I would say, because I believed in angels. I prayed to angels. I didn't believe in God or Jesus. It was angels. I was like, please send me an angel to save my life. Do something. I'm dying. For 2 weeks, I cried out, and it's just like, what do I do? I was dead inside. There was nothing left to sell. There was nothing left. I couldn't, it was not even an option. There was nothing, I had no soul. It felt like I had no soul whatsoever. It got really, really, really dark before it got better. And then one day, I'm just clicking around online, and I find this ex-porn star. I'm like, who is this? I'm an ex-porn star. I don't know any other ex-porn stars. I clicked on Shelly's stuff, and at the time I knew I was searching for something, but I didn't know what it was. And then it hit me. I was watching your testimony. Her testimony is what did it for me. And it hit me. this is why my life is so screwed up, is because I'm in the sex industry. Duh, and this is how it's going to get fixed with God. And I watched her testimony for like 3 days, and all I could do was cry and watch her testimony and bawl my eyes out and watch it and say, oh, this is it. It hit me, this is it right here. This is my angel. God sent me an angel. I was like, wow, this is the angel. So I contacted Shelly. And I told her all my story. I'm like, oh, I'm getting evicted from my trailer. I'm homeless. I'm divorced. I'm using my porn name to sell myself as a prostitute at this point because it helps you make money. Didn't have my child. Everything was bad. I mean, it was the worst. It got really bad. And God smacked me and said, you're going to stop doing this now. Not tomorrow, not 2 weeks from now. You're done now. You're done completely. And he smacked me, And of course, Shelly said, yeah, you're ready to get out. You're done. I'll help you. And she helped me. Started going to church. My older sister, who was in a New Age cult, who was a psychic, started going to church. And then I started going to church, too. So one day she called me, and she said, I'm going to try this Jesus thing for a while. Everything was going really bad. And she's like, I'll let you know how it works out. I'm like, yeah, let me know how that works out. I don't know what else to do. We're reading all these secret books, The Secret, all this New Age stuff. And then she got saved, baptized, and I was living with my sister for a while on her couch. All my stuff was in storage. I had nowhere to go. Staying with my sister. It was wonderful. It was a healing time. It was like boot camp.
Yeah.
One night I was crying because I was upset with God. I was angry with God. I started crying out, and I had just read this little book. It was by, I can't remember the guy's name. He was a Jew, and he became a Christian. I can't remember his name right now. It was a little tiny book, and it was called If You're There, God, Show Me. So I was praying, and I was yelling. I was like, I hate you, God. I have to sleep on this couch, and I don't have a job. I don't have anywhere to live, and I hate you. Why are you putting me through this? I just want to die. Like, every day when I woke up, I just wanted to die. I'm like, why am I still alive? Why are you doing this to me? So I said, if you're there, God, show me. And I thought, oh, he's going to send an angel, la, la, la. Beautiful things were going to happen. And as soon as I said, if you're there, God, show me, boom, it hit me. Demons visited me. God showed me that he was there by stepping back and showing me what it would be like if he wasn't. This is what he's saving me from. And demons attacked me that night. I came under attack. I've never been that scared in my entire life. And they were there. And they wanted me. And they wanted my little boy, who's 10 years old right now. They wanted my little boy because I had taken him to church that day. And they said they want me and they want my little boy. And I didn't know what to do. I freaked out, and I went to my sister's bedroom and said, I don't know what's going on right now. Something's happening. And she said, you're under attack by demons. I said, what do I do? What do I do? Call on Jesus. So I called on Jesus, and they were gone. That was it. It's almost like you could hear them on the sidewalk running away. But that night I'm a businesswoman. I tried to make a deal with God. I said, if you show me you exist, I'll make a deal with you. I'll get baptized. But if you don't, I'm done. I'm done with you. It's over. So, sure enough, shortly after that, I got baptized at my church, and the water didn't boil or anything like that. I got baptized and held up my part of the deal. Started healing. Finally moved into someone's basement. An old lady from church. Her name was Faith. I lived in her basement for like 3 years. Her name was Faith.
That's so cool.
And I healed in her basement, and the old ladies from the church would teach me how to be a woman, how to dress, how to send thank you notes to people that give you things. I didn't know how to do it. We would go to church and say, we're the cleavage twins, and we would have cleavage. Me and my sister would show off our cleavage at church. So we had, we need the older ladies in the church to help these women that get out and teach them how to be a proper woman and etiquette and how to dress and how to be and study with them and do Bible study. And that's how I healed, and that's how I learned. Yeah. And with Shelly, of course, I learned too. So that's what we need. Okay.
I'm so proud of you, Jenny.